I'm doing my research on cybernetics and transhumanism, and we're reading tons of books. And on the internet, I see the images from, all the studies from Leonardo da Vinci. So you see all these dissections and the arms and the craniums, and it's like, I had just been looking at all these cybernetic pieces or whatever, limbs, and you look at the real ones when they're dissected, and it's so close somehow. The aesthetics of them are so closely related, and I really piqued my curiosity. And we just started realizing this strong link, right, between the Renaissance and like a transhumanist era, if you want, in the sense that the Renaissance is really the first period where we honestly said, let's look at how the human machine functions. And if you want to upgrade a system, you first have to know how the system works. So it's almost as if the Renaissance is really when we started to understand how truly the human machine function. It's almost as if it's the beginning of transhumanism. So we said, hey, this is it. The Renaissance is a stepping stone to cybernetics. And we said, let's try to mesh all this together. And then came the Icarus myth, because again, we wanted to give a lot of depth to the meaning of the game. And the Icarus myth is a dude augmenting himself with artificial wings, basically. And the sun kind of represents the dangers of indulging too much in that. But then the real challenge was, okay, it works metaphorically. How do we create a look out of that? And that's when all hell broke loose, and nobody believed in it, and it was just so hard, because it's like you couldn't walk into the office one day, with an image from another game or a movie and say, this is how you mix cyberpunk and the Renaissance together. It didn't exist. It's always this quest to really find what I call that distinction, right? That will create that desire. The corporate feudalism in Mankind Divided is already something that we kind of had in this metaphor. Before the Renaissance was the Dark Ages, right? And then it was the transition to the Enlightenment era. That was kind of like in the background of human revolution, and in Mankind Divided, we brought it to the forefront. It's like, now augmentations are bad, there's the mechanical apartheid, and now we're bringing back the pure human form. We don't want to modify it anymore. We want to go back to the old thinking. This kind of imposing, blockist medieval thinking is there, and is called corporate feudalism. The black and gold palette of the game, again, the whole idea goes back to the Renaissance, if you want. If you look at the paintings of Vermeer and Rembrandt, for example, you look at their paintings and the contrasts are really, really high, right? There's really deep darks, and there's all these really warm yellows and oranges. And often what happened is that if they painted at night or something like that, they needed a candle, and so lots of candles, and it kind of gave you that warmth. Also, Rembrandt and all these guys is more the Baroque. It's more like after the Renaissance, but it's like anything, right? You take an era to inspire yourself, but you kind of stretch it a little to reach, the eras a bit before and after, so you have your palette is a little longer to play with, right? Because we had the Renaissance thing, and then we look at the color palette, we really liked it. We extrapolated it as black and gold. And once we figured out how to use it in the game and how to use it in the promotional material, it gave us, I think, a real signature that people would recognize, right? It would kind of stand out of the lot. In Mankind Divided, when you're surrounded by, augmented people, if you're in the ghettos or whatever, they do tend to suddenly light everything with golden hues, right? Again, it's an allegory, it's a metaphor, right? Even though that's what it looks like in the game, I don't think we're pretending that these people are like, hey, we used to be part of that golden age, and let's all, have these yellow lights. But again, the way that we make it happen in Mankind Divided is pretty much a continuity of the reasoning behind human revolution. The more someone is on the pro-transhumanist debate, on the pro side of the debate, or that they're for it, the more the gold is there. Prague has the whole security thing set up in Mankind Divided, right? The augmented people need their papers, and everything is highly regulated. Thematically wise, there's a lot more places that need not to have the golden hue, right? Because of that. And then when people are augmented, well, they all light up their candles and get around them. For Mankind Divided, the black and gold, just like the Renaissance, kind of takes a step backward. The whole golden era of transhumanism and all that stuff is a bit frowned upon now because of what happened, the Pencha incident and all the people who died. So for these same reasons, the palette now that corporate feudalism has is a lot, cooler, it's colder, starker. Now that's not to say that the black and gold is not there, but just like everything we try to do, it has a purpose, and when that purpose is there, the black and gold comes back.